today. I know that the Israelis have not succeeded in convincing the British public of their horrendous lies.
Boycott it.
I think it's interesting. I'm going to educate myself more on the argument.
More and more people are becoming aware of it, I think, with demonstrations like this, bringing the problem to the fore.
Palestinians are being driven off their land. What we're saying to people is, just as we did with South Africa, we want to isolate Israel diplomatically, publicly, culturally, sportingly, trade-wise. And what we want to do by doing that is help bring Israel's occupation to an end.
But you have to check, obviously, the label each time.
A small step has been taken this week by the British government to say that supermarkets have to label illegal goods from the settlements. Make sure that this small step is turned into a huge movement of boycotting all Israeli goods.
The Palestine Solidarity Campaign with you can build an anti-apartheid movement for Palestine. Let's build it together until Palestine is free. Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine!
COP, they announced that they would suspend sales of settlement products.
Se lei ha la possibilità, come direttore di parte, di puntare perché vengono dalla parte palestinese? No, perché però vengono dalla parte occupata militarmente. Va bene, ho capito tutto. Grazie signore, arrivederci.
De Israël. Il y a un texte fabriqué par Delta Galil en Israël. Surtout, c'est dans les colonies.
In the high majority of the cases, the Israeli products are no more in the supermarket after our action.
חברת האב.
This is our campaign to hang up on Motorola for its role in providing the Israeli army with telecommunication services.
ג'וש רובנר, יהודי.
Especially over the last few years in the United States, is a greater willingness to question Israel's policies towards Palestinians and also U.S. support for them. And I think that politicians will eventually catch up with public opinion.
Members of the Knesset spent breakfast most days last week reading about the Olympia Food Co-op in some of their most popular newspapers.
Just kind of be the first drop in a bucket, and hopefully those drops start to come faster and faster.
Supermarkets to use their economic power.
You're going to stop buying Israeli products?
I've in the past attempted to do so, yeah.
I haven't read them. I just collected it on my way in, and I checked that I wasn't buying Israeli products. But I always do.
Yeah, I checked.
Around the country are sick and tired of watching your country harass and oppress and maim and kill Palestinians on a daily basis, unendingly.
והנה עוד קהל
Why isn't anyone doing something against Russia in terms of what it does in Chechnya, or against China, against what it does to Tibet?
In the case of Israel, the most effective thing we can do is to raise the question of boycott. If we were to attempt to boycott the Russian Federation because of its behavior in Chechnya, or the United States of America because of its imperialist policies throughout the world, this is largely going to be ineffective. In the case of Israel, the boycott is extremely effective, as it was in the case of South Africa.
The age of Jewish intellectualism is finished.
Das Zeitalter eines überspitzten jüdischen Intellektualismus ist nun zu Ende.
Do you think that we will see an Israeli senior official getting arrested?
Yes. It's my view that that will happen one day, yes. A legal system someday will just have to deal with the fact that they've got a suspect in their own country against whom there is a strong legal case. If, as I think that to be the case, a legal system accepts that, that's what will happen. We look at each individual on the basis of the evidence. We can link it to particular people in the chain of command, and we're looking to see whether those people travel and which countries they travel to. We've worked with lawyers in New Zealand, Australia, Spain, Belgium, Netherlands, United States of America.
עורך הדין דניאל מחובר.
Concerned with human rights
Yes.
and war crimes against civilians.
Yes.
Don't you view the Hamas activity as a war crime?
I do not deny this as a crime. I do not deny it's wrong. I do not deny they should be brought to justice. What I think Israelis get lost in is that there is a system that's able to bring such people to justice. The Palestinians have no such state organs available to them. That's why they turn to international justice. Israel does not need to. The victims in Israel do not need international justice to vindicate their rights.
מאחורי כל תביעה
Zionist theory was supposed to provide a solution for anti-Semitism, and certainly for a lot of Jews it did, and is continuing to do so at the present time. But it also had the ironic side effect of providing a cover for anti-Semitism. Israel is a state, and like any other state, it may be criticized for its actions without anyone being accused of prejudice. Zionism is an ideology, and one may agree or disagree with a particular ideology. This, again, is not a matter of prejudice. On the other hand, one cannot escape the conclusion that very frequently criticism of Israel or criticism of Zionism provides a respectable cover for a sentiment which is no longer respectable.
Delegitimize Israel, then you put Jews again on the sufferance of the non-Jewish ideologues. At that point, the left-wingers can decide whether, or the right-wingers for that matter, whether the Jews are really behaving properly in the world by their standards. And I am damned, and I want to use that word advisedly, I am damned as a Zionist and as a Jew if I will hand on the existence of Jews to someone else's ideological preconceptions.
המופתי עשה שירותים חשובים לאס-אס, ובשל כך ימצא עצמו אחרי תבוסת גרמניה ברשימת פושעי המלחמה. ב-28 בנובמבר 1941, שבוע לפני פתיחת מחנה ההשמדה הראשון בחלמנו על יד לודג', נפגש חאג' אמין עם היטלר.
Der Großmufti ist das religiöse Oberhaupt der Araber in Palästina und gleichzeitig deren oberster Richter und Finanzverwalter. Wegen seiner nationalen Haltung verfolgten ihn die Engländer erbittert und setzten auf seinen Kopf einen Preis von 25.000 Pfund aus. Auf abenteuerlichen Wegen gelangt er über Italien nach Deutschland. Der Araber in Palästina und gleichzeitig deren oberster Richter und Finanzverwalter. Wegen seiner nationalen Haltung verfolgten ihn die Engländer erbittert und setzten auf seinen Kopf einen Preis von 25